Welcome to Crappens. Don't wait a week for a new video. Join our Patreon at the Crappens On Demand level for instant free cap access. Link in description. Enjoy the show.
Well, hello and welcome to Watch What Crappens. We're a podcast about
everything you like to talk about.
On ye old bravs. I'm Ronnie. That's Benjamina over there. Hello, Ben.
Hi everyone, and hello everyone on Crappens On Demand. As Ronnie mentioned earlier this week, my audio is out of sync with my video. Don't know why it's happening. Gonna get to the bottom of it. I'm gonna spend this Thanksgiving weekend trying to figure out why there's a lag. But I apologize. I'll just try to actually hide my mouth behind my microphone so that way you actually don't see the lag and if everything feels in sync. But sorry to everyone who's watching. You know, it wouldn't be
I'll
a Crappens
take you in any time zone, Ben.
Oh, thanks. But apparently this happened when I was in LA also. So I don't really know what's going on. But you know what? It's just that's what life is.
Life is a lag, guys.
Life is a lag.
I'm so super sad. Not because the holidays and not because Vanderpump Rules, which we should talk about at some point. Should we talk about that today? Next week? I don't know. But I am about to leave for Thanksgiving and these workmen are almost done at my house. When I tell you I cried, I was like, guys, we need to have a talk. And they're like, okay. So they gathered around and I was like, guys, I'm not going to be here the next few days, but you will be, and I'm not going to get to say goodbye to you. I really appreciate everything you've done. I've loved seeing you every day, and becoming your friend. And I started crying. And then the one guy who doesn't even know English said, we'll miss you. I can't. They're so cute.
You started to cry. That's so sweet. And then it turns out like Ronnie's just talking to his houseplants. It's like, oh, geez, Ronnie. You're getting
I'm going to cry right now. That's crazy that I'm going to miss the workmen like that, but I'm going to. I think that means I need a cat or something. No, I can't. You
can also just.
I'm gonna have to start a Patreon just to hire workmen every day to keep me company. That's so sad.
Why don't you just like build? Why don't you build something? Build another thing, and you can hire them, and you can see them all. You can also socialize with them.
You're allowed to socialize. I'm crying because Housewives is killing me lately. Like I cannot fucking take the Housewives. We watched. Ronnie. I don't know why I'm crying. But the Housewives are killing me. Like, I can't take any more Housewives right now. Stop being depressing. I watch you as a cartoon. You can't do this to me. And then I found out one of my best friends is moving away. Like, I can't. Should we stop this? Why am I crying? This is weird.
Wait, one of your best friends is what?
Moving. Here, look at this picture of the OC Housewives.
We can start over if you want. Poor thing. Oh, poor Ronnie. You're so sweet.
We should stop. Hold on. We're not have to stop. Oh. We'll just have Christina.
Okay.
Literally, what is wrong with you?
You're so sweet. You feel things so deeply.
Okay. No, it's just funny because I'm such a cynical bitch, but I swear to you, if I even start crying at a commercial, it's over for me. Like, I'll be here for 3 hours. It'll be like a week-long thing. Okay, anyway, that's it. But also, Thanksgiving.
You also are on 3 hours of sleep. You're also on 3 hours of sleep, I want to point out.
But also, these housewives are killing me. Like that Mary conversation, which people will hear tonight on A Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. That's too much.
And how about, honestly, and Erin and her father, Erin and her father, that was like, I thought that was very, very sad.
Oh my God.
The
whole thing.
On New York.
It's like everything.
The whole thing.
And then PK and Dorit. I'm just kidding. That shit at least is hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Luckily, Beverly Hills. Who would have thought Beverly Hills is the funniest show of the week? Just a great comedy, Beverly Hills. I mean, I was chuckling watching Beverly Hills last night. It brought me a lot of joy. I love seeing Dorit and Kyle fight. I love seeing Dorit stand up for herself. I love Dorit really giving it to Kyle. They really get into it in a way that I really appreciate. Yeah. So, how are you feeling? Do you want to start? You want to start from the top?
Or no. Do you want to? I'm just such a weirdo. I'm telling you, I'm so sorry. No, I'm a basket case, and it's the holidays and everything else. But also, I'm just like I am grateful, and I'm so happy. I'm crying because I'm happy. But yeah, I really am. I'm really happy. Okay. So let's just keep going. Christina, just cut some of that out. Cut out whatever you want. Okay. So here we are, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And this is called a sobering separation. Like, how much sobriety do we need to? Like, do we really all need to be lectured before the holidays? Like, come on. I'm doing my best, Fuck, man.
Yeah. And, before the episode even began, last week, previously, on Watch for Crappens, recapping Beverly Hills. I played some of the classic Dorit sound effects because it's always important to remind ourselves of the strange noises that Dorit makes. And I didn't even pick up on the fact, it wasn't until I watched the previouslys, that we have a new entry in the canon. Would you like to hear the new Dorit Kemsley?
Yes. How did it not jump out at me?
Here we go. Actually, before, you know what? I'm going to build up to it because it turns out there were several more sound effects that we overlooked. We had the classic where it's like, young ladies, and the happy birthday. But do you remember this when she saw a magician?
Gone. Shut up.
Or how about this is Dorit talking about Beverly Beach.
Los Angeles. Imagine walking up and seeing Beverly Beach. So fun.
I was like, wait, was there a sound effect there? And then let's also not forget this one where she just annoyed Lisa Vanderpump with her strange noises.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong
So
with
here, ladies and gentlemen, for 2024, the new Dorit noise.
You're basically corporate America, all wrapped up in one fabulous human being.
But like this, you know what I
Do it again.
One more time.
Do it again.
One more time.
You're basically corporate America, all wrapped up in one fabulous human being.
But like this, you know what I
It's the slow wind up. Like, you know, we all know the classic, like, Dorit scream. Young ladies, welcome. But then
You're
this one
basically
is
corporate America,
nice and slow.
all wrapped up in one fabulous human being.
But like this, you know what I
So funny.
Ah, Dorit. She brings so much joy. So that's the big news, is that there's a new Dorit sound. And then we also have our new taglines for the season. And I'm going to say, by the way, as a whole, as a class of 2024, I didn't love these. I thought these were a little generic. What do you think?
They were. Let's see what they are. Kyle. Who wants to do Kyle? You want to do who wants to start? You start.
I'll do Kyle. You've had a tough morning. You don't deserve to. You don't deserve to have to take on this.
I haven't had a tough morning. I've just had a feeling morning. That's all. I'm okay. You know, I just usually hide that I even have those.
Kyle's like, these hills have eyes and they're all staring at me. First of all, so that's a reference to a classic horror movie, The Hills Have Eyes, which I guess is a reference to the fact that Kyle has been in horror movies. But like, that is so Kyle to think that hills are watching her. Hills are not watching you, Kyle.
Hills are not watching you. We're barely watching you. You fucking idiot. Like, what does she think that people care this much about her life? She's absolutely insane. What is it? The Amazon Live audience going crazy? It's all those ladies looking for leggings that are just dying to know. Literally, no one cares. I've not met one person who's like, I wonder what's going on with Kyle and Morgan. Literally everybody. I feel like even lesbians are like, just be quiet. How about that? Just shut up. Nobody cares.
She's like, these hills have eyes and they're all rolling them. That would have been more accurate.
Yeah. So Sutton's like, I honor my fine Southern manners by putting you in your place.
And Garcelle's is, which is, by the way, that's
talk
fine.
about Sutton's. I mean, that's really not Southern manners, putting people in their place, first of all. I don't think there's any wordplay there.
I think there's no wordplay. I don't think it's, I got distracted. My mom sent me a text. I got to go on Do Not Disturb because my mom is like, we're making a reservation in 10 days. So, of course, it's like 10 texts in a row. So
what do you want for dinner in 10 days, honey? Let's discuss it.
It's like, we need to answer. I'm like, you know, I'm podcasting, mother. You know it. So Sutton's, I honor my fine Southern manners by putting you in your place. It's fine. There's no wordplay there, though. So I just don't think it's very wonderful. It's like, it's fine. And then Garcelle's is, I've been in the game too long to play by someone else's rules. Yeah, that's fine. That one does have wordplay, but it's more generic.
What are the rules? I don't know. I don't get it. And then Erica's like,
In Beverly Hills, money buys a lot, but my independence, priceless.
fucking now you're using an Amex logo for all the credit you don't have? What is your thing? In Beverly Hills, money buys a lot, and I don't have any. Thank God for Tom's old Rush Limbaugh lookalike friend, because I'd be fucked. How about you? Erica could have just come on and been like, I'm going to wear pants with faces on them. What do you think about that? And I would have been like, that's better than what we got.
She's also protecting Kyle yet again. She's protecting Kyle yet again because you know that if it weren't for Erica, Kyle would have another in this town. But Erica took the in Beverly Hills thing, so Kyle had to say the hills have eyes instead.
Well, you know they cut hers to be in this town. The hills have eyes, but all eyes are looking at me. They're like, Kyle, you can't in this town again, Kyle. Okay.
You can't do this.
And I just love that she's using like commercial slogans when she was charged with literal credit. She tried to throw those guys in prison for credit fraud. And then, I mean, she's a mess. What is she doing? So then Bose, which by the way, I'm sorry I was calling her Boz last week, but you know whose fault that is fucking Kathy Hilton's fault. You know, of course. And why would I ever listen to Kathy Hilton? I know she's not named Boss like Kathy Hilton was trying to call her, but I thought it must rhyme with boss if that's what she's trying to call her. No, there's no sense and there's no sensibility with Kathy. Okay, don't listen to her. Very upset. Okay, so
the
then
tears get translated into rage. I love it. I love the process.
Happens. That's why I'm always screaming and yelling because I'm always about to cry. Okay, so Bose is like introducing the greatest product I ever marketed, myself. I was like, oh my God. So this woman, let me just tell you right now, this woman, I love her. This is a walking AI LinkedIn page. That's all this lady's going to do. And I love it. She is LinkedIn with fabulous dresses. So she's like an update at the app that just won't stop nagging you to re-sign up for fucking LinkedIn. And I love it. It's like, you're connected to Bose. She wants a recommendation. I'm like, you know what? Bose is great at croissants. There, do it. She's like, that's right. I run that.
I'm sure all her LinkedIn friends constantly get emails like, Bose just updated her profile. Bose has a new update. Bose just wrote on her LinkedIn blog. Bose says hello. Bose just made a new connection. It's like probably constant. So then we have Dorit, who finishes it with, I may look like a doll, but don't wind me up.
This one's the cutest, I think.
That's pretty good. That's probably the best of the bunch. You know what? This is Dorit's season, and she got the best line of the year, I would say.
Yeah, but Dorit's like, I'm a new independent woman, PK. It's already wearing thin. I have to tell you, it's been 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, you need to calm down now. But let's go.
I would have liked the original version of her line, which I heard was just her going,
magic. We just see a car slowly crashing in that Beverly Hills traffic circle. So let's see here where we are. So we are at the party, Sutton's surrealism party, and Kyle is dressed like a deer in the headlights. He just doesn't understand why everyone's constantly staring at her. And then Dorit is arguing with her, and Kyle's like, I'm going to need you to listen now, okay? I'm going to need you to listen. I am double licking the corners of my mouth very rapidly, so...
Let's be honest, Kyle, and let's actually really talk about the real stuff. So go on, tell me, Kyle.
And Kyle's
well, I mean, if you're going to be aggressive and you're not going to be open, I'm having this conversation because I hope to get to the other side of this, but you're really not, like, who are you even? Like, you're not even acting like yourself. Like, who are you? It's like a pod person. It's like, oh, who is this right now?
Because I'm not going to put up with your shit anymore, Kyle. I'm not.
Well, we both have different feelings and we have different thoughts about what happened. No. This is like we have our truths. I have my truth and you have your truth. No, there is a truth. What is the truth? You're a lie. You're a lie, ma'am.
That's the thing, is that Kyle's offense is a blatant lie. To be like, well, we only went on like one trip together and our friendship was exaggerated. That is incorrect. So Dorit's like, Kyle, our history counts, and so do all of our accents. And that's why when you went publicly and said that I exaggerated our friendship, ... please roll the Amazon Live footage once again, please.
Amazon Live is getting some serious play on this show. My God, I really wanted to go buy a pair of leggings. Like, seriously. I was like, does anybody have gold-plated earrings right now that are just casual and sensible, but also fancy if I need to switch up after the office?
Yeah. I mean, this is just great marketing. And so Dorit's like, we have so many memories and so many intimate moments. It felt like it took 8 years of a deep sisterly friendship, and she took it and flushed it down the toilet.
Okay, well, can I tell you why I said that? Because when we were at BravoCon and we were up there as like besties, and then we see the clip again of Andy saying, who's your favorite Richard sister? And then Kyle spilling her shot all over Dorit, and Dorit joking, well, now it's not Kyle. Now it's going to be Kathy then. Kyle's my third favorite. And then Kyle cracking up and then pretending now that she's mad. You want to know what I did recently as early as this weekend? I went to a little place where I used to live. It's a magical land called West Hollywood. And I was out at a bar, clubbing with the boys, and I saw one of our good friends, whose name on this show is Old Queen at a Bar. Glissando, glissando, bring, ring, bring, bring. Old Queen at the bar was just hunched over there on his stool and swirling a martini around. He said, Rondel, is that you? Come to me, I have something to tell you. I said, Old Queen in the bar, you're going to get me in trouble, you naughty minx. And then he laid the tea upon me. Okay, so here's what Old Queen in the bar said. Now, I don't believe this. There is no proof of this. I don't know that this is true. Don't sue me because I only know this from some old queen in a bar. So, by the way, that's vacuuming going behind my head because we are the most professional podcast on the internet. Okay, thanks. Of course. So, here's what he said: that when Kyle was first into when Kyle was first into Morgan, it was just like an Instagram thing. And she was like, "Oh my God, I like this girl on Instagram, and I'm going to meet her. Like, I've been DMing her, and like I want to be friends with this girl." And Dorit was like, "Okay." So they got together with Morgan, and supposedly Morgan was showing interest in Dorit. And like Dorit and not Kyle, because Kyle and this girl were just friends at first, supposedly. And Morgan liked Dorit, and then that's why Kyle magically hates Dorit and won't speak to her, and they can't talk about it because Kyle's not supposed to be talking about Morgan this season. I was like, girl, I don't know if I believe that, but I kind of do because it fits with Kyle, you know?
I love a wonky triangle. You know, and Kyle loves a drama triangle. She loves a drama triangle. She's always in one with her sisters. She'll put herself in one with whoever's in her life because she likes to replicate that relationship with her sisters, with other people. But now she's in a love triangle. And then she's in 2 love triangles at once, one with Mauricio, now one with Morgan. She's literally in a love rhombus at this point, and it's very exciting to me. I hope this is true because this is a really delicious rumor. And you know what?
Yeah, I don't know if it's true. Obviously, I kind of feel like probably it's not. Like maybe more. I mean, who wouldn't like Dorit? She's gorgeous, you know, and she's a total dip, you know. Like who doesn't love that? I think she's adorable. But it also would be a double whammy just because the whole rumor last season was that Dorit was having an affair with Mauricio. Because remember when she kissed his shoulder when they were hugging after, I don't know, something traumatic happened. And that was the rumor then, was that Dorit was fucking. So Kyle's just being constantly attacked by like, oh, Kyle and Mauricio are breaking up because he's more into Dorit than Kyle. So whether or not I don't think that's true, but I think that Kyle reads the same rumors that we do. And so that's got to already bug her with Dorit. And then comes the Morgan thing. Oh my God. It's like, can Kyle just get a piece of ass of her own?
I have to say this rumor, even if it's false, it's such a fun one to entertain. I'm just so grateful. I'm grateful for rumors sometimes because just
you know
even to
this is what the
consider it as like
Pilgrims
a
came
fan
here
fiction. Yeah. You know, just as like fan fiction. I love the idea of Morgan Wade like coming to Beverly Hills and she's there and she puts down her little bindle on the stick and she sees Dorit and she's like, "Oh, you're real pretty. I never seen a real pretty girl like you before."
You're like real life Barbie doll. Can I cut your hair?
Do not cut my hair.
Can I put magic marker makeup on you?
You cannot do that.
It's a Barbie doll I can't play with. Kyle, let me play with the Barbie doll.
I made you something real pretty. Oh, thank you. Is this a bundle of dead leaves attached by a string? Yeah, it's seasonal.
You know what I want to do with you? Open a can of worms with you.
It's a literal can of worms.
to us.
No.
I love you.
Hey. Hey, why don't we leave this old dusty town and ride the rails for the rest of our lives, and you can tell me about what it's like in Europe where you're from. Oh, well, that is sort of appealing. She thinks I'm English.
I do love riding the rails. So, so that rumor is,
what do you say?
that rumor is probably total trash. But God, I love it. I think it's so funny. And it really did give me, because I obviously came into this episode having heard that already. And it really did give me a new perspective on this episode. I just loved it.
I think that is this is a great twist in this early in the recap. So, Kyle is now pretending like she's mad at Dorit because of an obvious joke at BravoCon. And Kyle's like, well, you did that. And then you looked at me and you said, oh, I don't know. Kyle, it was a joke. It's tongue and cheek, Kyle. Gee, I thought you understood jokes. It's something that you and I used to do a lot, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I was very emotional that whole time. And like, you knew what was going on. Like, I'd shared things with you. And like, I started crying when I was asked about it. And then we see a flashback to whatever lie Kyle is brewing up right now. And she's on the couch with the microphone. And she's like, well, like, obviously my life, it's like not my idea of a fairy tale, obviously. And then, which I didn't really get this clip. And then Kyle's like, well, and then later you said to certain people that I turned the tears on for attention. Why are you smiling like that's not true? And because it is true what Dorit said. And it's crazy that you're trying to turn all of this non-fighting into a fight. So you have some kind of hill to stand on. So you're crazy, lady.
Kyle better be careful because if she comes for Dorit too hard, Dorit's gonna start doing her little jabs motion where she takes her fist and explodes it out. Little jabs, Kyle. So Dorit is like, this is exactly what I expected. You think I'm some fucking idiot. That is absolutely not why you went on Amazon Live and said that. You know what I think, Kyle? You were mad that I said something on Watch What Happens Live that wasn't even a big deal. And Andy asked, how was your relationship been affected by Kyle and Morgan's relationship? Roll that flashback now, please.
So then we see, wow. And Dorit's like, well, I feel like the closer she got with Morgan, the further she got from Eden. And Andy's like, wow, that's interesting. Are you sleeping? Am I boring you, Andy? I'm sorry. I can't really help it. Well, Kyle, I love you. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. It's how I feel. And so Dorit, flashback to Dorit. She's like, I said that, Kyle. God forbid, Kyle. The worst thing in the world. And then you decided, now I'm going to show her. And that's why I've showed up as album of the year.
Literally on my head.
And
Dorit just keeps adjusting the record on top of her head. It's so funny.
She's like, wiggy, 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 wiggy. DJ James Kennedy's like, well, now that I'm out of a job, I just have to play Dorit's head all the time. Wiggy, wiggy. So then Dorit uses Kyle's language against her. She says, well, if Kyle could just be honest and open and honest, tell me what really pissed her off, got her in trouble with Morgan. It caused all sorts of issues, and just tell me that she was upset about that, and then we can have an honest conversation moving on, Kyle.
So then we see Sutton and Jennifer Tilly watching all of this, and Sutton's like, wow, there's a lot of pointing there. There's a lot of pointing. And as a Southern person, I'm going to have to put them in their place. That's that. And then Jennifer's like,
well, they are fired up, Sutton. Look at them fighting. It's wonderful.
So we go back to Dorit, and she's like,
Kyle, you isolated me. You didn't speak to me for months, Kyle. Why did you not just come up to me and say, Dorit, I'm mad at you for this. Dorit, I'm upset at you for this.
I didn't have it in me. I just didn't have it in me. I was going through a very hard time. We go through things. You go through things. I go through things. Just say you were an asshole. Just say you were an asshole. I found better friends in you and I ditched you for the better friends. Okay. I can't be the only person who's found a better friend and then ditch the other friend. You're not fun. You're boring. Okay. I don't like you in your fake, stupid clothes. And your husband looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy and he never shuts up about Boy George. I don't want to hang out with you anymore. You're stupid. The only people who like you are my husband and your husband. Bye. I'm done with you. That's it.
But also, like Kyle's whole "I was struggling" thing, over the marriage with or the separation with Mauricio. But now that's nullified because now Dorit is struggling with PK. So it's like even playing field doesn't work. Both
Dorit was struggling more. At least you had a hot girlfriend. Dorit was getting robbed supposedly by a bunch of people, and like being traumatized while she was also living with PK, the pickle face. Okay. So she's had a lot to deal with.
Pickle face.
I've had to also deal with the stress of watching PK flirt with having diabetes 2, 3, and 4.
Do you know how many versions of diabetes came through my home, Kyle? There were not only regular invaders, there were diabetes invaders. I went to Target once. I was stalked by diabetes. There was diabetes medication stolen out of my purse, Coil.
So now Kyle does her whole, I've been a good fucking friend. I don't care what you say. Just because you say it doesn't make it true. Well, you can't say you're a good fucking friend, but then also go on to Amazon Live and be like, we're like barely friends. It's like, are you a good friend then? You can't be good friends in a situation where you're barely friends.
Yeah, you're not a good friend. You're not a good friend literally to anybody. Can you point out one person on this show that could say, wow, there's a consistent friend? Nobody. Zero.
Faye.
You have nobody on this show.
Resnick.
Well, maybe,
Faye.
But yeah. Faye and people that we don't see, but like people on the cast, nope. Kyle's fucked over every single person on this cast. She doesn't have any real friends. I mean, who are her friends? The kiss asses. She's got Teddy, who's literally having copycat affairs over there. And then she's got Faye. And that's it. And that guy from the Access Hollywood, and I'm not coming for him or whatever. He's cute. Justin. Gay. Like, he's very cute and always nice to her. But those three are the ones that I can think of.
She doesn't even have Glenn in her life anymore.
Right?
Daughters.
The Fatburger heir?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. So then Kyle is... So Dorit's like, a good fucking friend, Kyle. When they're mad, they'll tell their friend, gee, I'm mad. And then they try to work through it.
Yeah. And Kyle's like, well, I'm sorry, but those the last 2 years are literally the worst 2 years of my life. I mean, becoming 100 millionaire, that was really rough. Moving to my third mansion in like 2 years, super, super hard. Finding the hottest girlfriend of my life, really difficult. Traveling all over the world with said girlfriend and dumping my husband, really, really. What the fuck are you talking about? You've had the best 2 years. You've had the best midlife crisis of anybody I've ever known. I hope it goes down in the history books of how much fun you've been having for the past 2 years. And you've always been having the worst 2 years of your life. Give me a break. Has there ever been a season where Kyle's not having the worst year of her life?
Well, I hate to be a gray cloud on this, Ronnie, but I will say in Kyle's light defense, I mean, her marriage of 26 years did fall apart and her best friend did, die by suicide. Part, yes, so she did. Okay, it was hard. It was hard. Yes. I don't think that we're going to take away that it was hard. And I know you were being jokey because it's Kyle and we just don't want to give Kyle anything. But like,
I forgot about the best friend.
Dorit has also had a very difficult past few years. PK, the situation with PK, an alcoholic. And then also, home invasion, whether it was staged or not, I think that a lot of people have settled on that may have been staged by PK, but Dorit probably didn't. Dorit did not know that. I don't think that Dorit was in on anything. If there was a scheme, Dorit was not in on it. She was legitimately traumatized by it. Dorit's gone through a hard time also. And this is not the hard time Olympics. Okay, we're not watching Roni right now. So Kyle, you're not going to get any bonus points by saying you're going through a hard time. Because guess what? Why don't you look at Erica also? I mean, not to say that Erica's a victim, but however you feel about Erica, she went through the ringer, okay? And then before that, Sutton went through the ringer with her husband. People go through the ringer and it sucks and doesn't mean we should just write it off because everyone else has done it too, but it does not explain being shitty to your friends. And so Dorit, in fact, Kyle trying to pull this move while Dorit is in the middle of her shit phase is just so obnoxious. And Kyle doing the whole, you know what, these last 2 years, the hardest 2 years of my life, so give me a little fucking grace. And I loved that Dorit was like, I think I did, Kyle. I think I did a little bit too much. And when you get to the point where you can go publicly and say, I exaggerated our friendship, grace time is over. Grace time is over, Kyle. I was like, oh, Dorit, yes. You know what? Yes. Bravo, Celebrity of the Year.
No more grace time. Grace time is over, Kyle. And so Kyle was like, it's funny because I can't. And Kyle kept making these looks at the camera where she'd be like, like right off camera.
And just wearing antlers too.
Wearing the antlers, yes. She's like the deer that Karen ran into on Potomac.
I know. Talk about a deer in the headlights. That is Kyle right now. And by the way, it was funny because the season premiere was called Grace Time is Over, but the actual phrase Grace Time is Over appeared in this episode. So, hello. But that's a very internet-y observation to make. But I'm not going to lie. It was plaguing my brain for the past 18 hours.
Yeah. So Kyle grabs her water and she takes a big dramatic gulp of it. And she's like, I am out of here. And Kyle's like, I see. Or Dorit's like, I see. Fucking expected that cool. So then Kyle's like, I've been a bad friend and you just get to say this now because I'm mad at you? Well, how convenient. Yeah, but that's what you're doing. It's exactly what you're doing. She says, you hurt me and now you have to create something to justify your behavior. That's exactly what you're doing by coming up with all this gobbledygook, stupid reasons why you were mad at Dorit and are right and treating her like shit. When you dumped her, you were not right in treating her like shit. I don't care what's going on in your life. Ma'am.
Yeah, precisely. So then Garcelle walks up because Garcelle sees that there's some tea to be spilled. She's like, so, Kyle, normally I can't stand you, but I want to get the gossip from you. So what happened? And she's like, well, it's impossible to talk to her. Have you considered taking off the antlers? No, absolutely not. Why should I have to take off my antlers?
Well, some people could get scared that something with antlers is talking to them. I'm just saying. I'm trying to stampede over your feelings.
Creatures. Some people may want to shoot you. They think you're a deer. Just like, well, I have actually never seen her act like that and never seen her act like that ever. And I feel like I was talking to an imposter. But guess what? When you talk to me, I'm not an imposter. I'm an actress who works in horror movies. Thank you very much and good night.
And then we got Garcelle's signature. Wow. And back inside the party, Erica is checking on Dorit, and Dorit's like, well, I've got to go. And Erica's like, what's the tea, girl? And she's like, well, remember what I told you. In order to work it out, that I need to be able to have an honest, real conversation. That's what I need.
Yeah.
Well, it's not what I got. Yeah. Here's what I got. A load of BS. Yeah. Grace time is over. Grace time is over. It's over.
You know, I feel like I'm watching last season of Real Housewives of Potomac and Giselle taking her daughter to college. Grace time is over. Sick burn.
So Dorit,
I can guarantee you Dorit does not watch the Real Housewives of Potomac. I will bet you $5 million of money that I do not have.
It's like so many people walking up to Deborah Messing. Grace time is over.
So Dorit.
Yeah.
Is that better?
That's better. That's better. So Dorit's like, I'll tell you what I feel. Let me tell you what I feel. Feed up. I feel fed up with Kyle. I'm fed up with friendship. I'm fed up with marriage. I'm fed up with having the way of being felt the way I felt. I'm fed up with having to keep my mouth shut. I'm fed up with records on my head. Have you ever tried to wear a Betamax on your head? It hurts even more. I'm fed up. I can't take any more of it. Fed up with Jaguar. You little fucker. Stop riding bikes in the house. God damn it, I've hit it. Like, yeah, Dorit's really
you sound
going there.
Dorit, you sound a little hungry. Are you hungry?
Well, as it turns out, while I am fed up with many things, I personally am not actually fed. So yes, I could use an hors d'oeuvre.
It's what I strive for. It's only figurative feeding, right? Not into literal feeding. So then Bose is like, well, okay, bye everyone. I'm going to drink more tequila. I'm CEO of Tequila. Tequila, get in here. I'm calling a meeting. Don Julio, get in here.
Now, where are my ducklings? All 5 of us have to walk out because they show. Well, we'll get to it in a second. But Dorit is like,
ladies and gentlemen of America, I need to have a voice. I'm no longer that girl that you've seen the last 2 years. I'm bigger, better, stronger than ever.
And then a cake just winds up in her face.
And I am still playing Wendy in the Pantone in England, where I get a cake in my face.
Let me tell you, bad relationships can't come between an actor and a real role. Thank you.
So
and then she flips off the camera. She's like, fuck you, and flips us off, gives us the good old F you to the camera.
Yeah, she's badass.
That's
so
why they have new music this year that's like, I'm a badass bitch and I'm fed up. And I'm fed up. I've got new shoes and I'm fed up.
They really sent Alan Lazar out to the dumpster. They're like, we don't want any more high T strings anymore. We want badass Selling Sunset music. But he's like, but I just came up with a new song. Are you sure you don't want to hear it? Here it goes. Blum, 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 blum. No, get me Trixie Monaco. This season needs a real lady.
Yeah, they really did. They just really shoved that guy out. You know, I feel like he needs to sue for ageism or something, because that's not cool what you guys did to Alan Lazar. I mean, what did he ever do to you? He would have had a song called Dorit's Fed Up. And you're right. It would have gone just like that. Dum, 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 dum. Bum, 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 bum.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, well, you know what? They're just clearing out all the Vanderpump era things, you know. It's Alan Lazar, Sir, the original cast of Vanderpump Rules, Schwartz and Sandy's. It's all out.
Bro, it's all gone
right now. It's very sad.
We'll be talking about that on Crappy Hour, I'm sure, this week. So if you guys want to hear us bemoan the loss of Vanderpump Rules as we once knew it, please come listen to Crappy Hour 5:30 on Mondays.
Actually, might be a good time to mention Crappy Hour is going to be a little bit earlier this week or this coming week. It's going to be at 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern. How about that?
Crazy changes coming up. And you know why? Because we're feet up. So
is that the right timing? 3? Yeah, that's the right timing. Yeah, 3 o'clock this Monday.
Okay, so Dorit wants to get out of the dress, and Erica's like,
throw it in the trash. By the way, I'll be waiting by the trash. It's a cute dress.
Oh. So then Kyle's coming out. She's like, oh my God, Dorit's out here. Oh my God. How am I storming out at the same time as Dorit? This is crazy. Can I get my driver first? I've had a very difficult 2 years. I had a very difficult night tonight.
Yeah, and there's just basically people saying goodbye and goodnight, and Bose. See, now I'm saying Bose. Bose is basically like, wow, they seem really upset. So they leave, and Kyle's like, this is the worst party of my night, of my life. So now we have the official get to know Bose scene, introducing Bose, and we see Bose is basically she throws these events called the Badass Workshop, curated by Bozema St. John. And we see this hall. It's kind of like, it's a big self-help thing. The chairs are set up. It's somewhere between like Tom Cruise and Magnolia and like that cult leader guy on HBO. And I've made that in the best possible way. She is doing it. And so she gets out of her car, and this shot that they got of her, she looked like she was doing the Sixth Line in New Orleans almost. She gets out, and she has like a team of assistants, and they're all shorter than her, and she's just like marching down the sidewalk, and they're marching with her, and it is literally like Mother Goose and the Goslings just going right down the sidewalk. I just loved it.
She's like, welcome, I'm Bose, and I have badass woman workshops. And here we go. Build this sidewalk. Look at them build this sidewalk right in front of me for me to walk over it. Walking over the sidewalk as they build it. It's me, Bose, the badass.
Walk. She like stops, they stop. She starts walking, they start walking. It was like such a funny visual to me, and she's like strutting. She's strutting down. Her hair is like really tall. Her dress is big and everything, and they're just like, it's like all synchronized perfectly. I was like, this is the campiest, most ridiculous thing that has happened on Beverly Hills in quite some time.
She's like, should I go up to the step and repeat? Yes, because I praised Jesus for it. Yes, step and repeat. Now they call it the step and repeat. Repeat again. Yes, I'll do it for you. Turn, Bose, turn. That's all they want from me. Turning, here I turning. I was like, who is this lady? She's fucking nuts. And then she just kind of stands there on the red carpet. Is this where she's just kind of standing there and she's posing, and then people just keep walking up to her and they're like, oh my God, you are my hero. She's like, oh, stop it. Click it, click it, click it.
All these people, this one girl is like, oh my God, the only other person I admire more than you is Beyonce. She was like, oh, stop it. You should admire me more than Beyonce. Let's be honest.
No, I was going to say, she would have kicked her off that red carpet. She said, you're the only person I admire more than Beyonce. She's not going to give Beyonce more cred than Bose. Are you kidding? Oh. Bose would have had her kicked off the LinkedIn.
My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bose is talking about, she was Forbes named her number one most influential CMO in the world. That's chief marketing officer. She's been in Fast Company's 100 most creative people. Ebony named her one of the most powerful executives in the world. I mean, should I go on?
I've come up with the awesome blossom. Before that, you know what it was? An onion. They would call it the fried onion. I said, no, this is not the badass way of doing it. And now it's the awesome blossom. Bose.
If looking at all these accomplishments that she's basically, done in like corporate America, I really can only think of one thing.
You're basically corporate America, all wrapped up in one fabulous human being.
But like this, you know what I mean?
Well, since I've retired from formal corporate life, I've been busier than ever. I'm doing podcasts, workshops, advocacy, basically being a badass. I thought retirement was putting my legs up. That sounds ridiculous. I don't mean it that way, although I would. I'd have the biggest bordello in the world. I'd brand that shit. Be badass Bose, legs in the air. Not ashamed of a goddamn thing, boys. I love it.
We
She's
just
like, build me a new set. I don't like this background. Get me a new one. There they go, building behind me. Sorry, it's like the little workers from the Mario. Build it faster. There they go, faster, boys. I'm in construction now. I'm the CEO of Badass Construction Ladies. Good, now get out.
Who is ready for a badass workshop, people? And all these people in their chairs like, woo! She's like doing her own infomercial, like her own live infomercial. It's amazing. And she's like, I mean, normally when I see someone like this, I'm like, okay, you're a crook. But she has the credits to back it up. I'm like, my instinct says you're a crook, but you're not a crook at all. You are just a corporate like powerhouse. So she's like, I started Badass Workshop because everyone always says to me, how do I get the corner office? And I said, you build the corner office. And guess what? Then you have all four corners because it's only you. That's how you do it. That's what a badass does. And if I had $1 for every time someone asked me a question, well, guess what? I'm already a millionaire, but I'd be even more of a millionaire. I'd be a double millionaire. That's called stepping, repeating your millionaires.
Here's how to be a badass. Okay, this session is called Pivoting to Your Best, Greatest Self. This pivot is deeply personal. It's personal because I've already done it. I was 10 years in PepsiCo. In January of that year, I successfully negotiated the deal with the NFL to have the Super Bowl halftime be sponsored by PepsiCo. And a few months later, we discovered, hold the applause, my husband had cancer. And everyone's like, oh, and she's like, and then it was sad. And it becomes a really sad story about her husband. She found the love of her life. And she's like, I can't believe I ended up with this like somewhat dorky white guy, but we did. And we fell in love and we had this beautiful child. And then he died. And she's like, and we were robbed of him. And then I decided, guess what? I went into a meeting and they said, listen, here's what we think about you. You're not enough of a badass. And I said, well, guess what? I'm rebranding. And from now on, I'm a badass. And like a phoenix, I rose from the ashes. I rose and I owned that company. That company is now Cherry PepsiCo, one of the biggest companies in the world.
She does mention PepsiCo a lot.
I put the cherry in the Pepsi.
This is the new era of my life. The new PepsiCo, if you will. And the last ladder I climbed up in corporate America was built on fizz and soda. And it was built by other people. But guess what? This new ladder is built by me, rung by rung. And as it happens, those rungs are made of PepsiCo cans. But that's okay.
The rungs are made of the little plastic things that seals get stuck in that keep Cokes together.
Well, be your own scissors, everyone, and cut those rings off your throats, and that's how you can be a badass and succeed.
You don't want dolphins to die in your rungs, ladies. Am I right? Be a true dolphin-saving badass, and this is why the dolphins lift me up as their queen. That's the next ceremony. That's the next seminar. Buy your tickets to being a badass queen for dolphins.
And let's all remember, Coca-Cola polar bears are pussies.
But so funny, dolphins, beyond just the general, sorry. It's so good to me, just beyond the general hilarity of this lady and her confidence, which is just so beautiful. You know, I love it. Is the fact that this is very mommy dearest for anybody who went to gay college and watched that movie from back in the day. She marries some rich dude, this is not her, obviously, but this part of it was she married like one of the shareholders of PepsiCo, and when he died, she went to the board meeting and she's like, "I'm taking over. You're all fired. Don't fuck with me, fellas. This ain't my first time at the rodeo."
I think what Ronnie is trying to say is that PepsiCo really provides a fertile breeding ground for gay icons.
It really does. Don't you think that's funny? That she's like, and then I told PepsiCo, well, I'm a badass now, so you better get in line. And then guess what I did? I got some workers and I built a line.
And they said, Bose, you haven't hit as many home runs lately. And I said, well, guess what? Take me to PepsiCo Park because I'm about to hit a grand slam. So they're all like losing their minds. They're cheering for her. They love her. Again, like normally if I see someone doing their own, like on their own motivational speaking, self-help tour, doing like the, hotel ballrooms and having like a cult-like thing, I'm always like, there's a grift going on. But she's one of the rare cases where I'm like, no, she seems like she's just like a smart person who knows how to monetize what she's good at. So
yeah, I didn't get any grift. What I definitely got though was just that feeling of like, wow, you can really just do whatever you want in this life. I mean, it is really empowering to see somebody just like, guess what? I'm going to have a seminar and it's called a Badass Lady Seminar. I mean, it's crazy to just watch someone build a crazy life like that to me. I mean, I think it's amazing. It's inspiring. I was like, what do I want to do? I'm going to do so much. I'm going to wake up there and I'm going to go out. I'm a badass now. And then I woke up and I started crying with workers in my backyard. So, I mean, I don't know that it translated to me, but the hope was there for sure.
So now we go over to Kyle and Sutton go to a rooftop bar.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. She goes, I have to say one part. We were done with the scene. This is my fault. But she goes, the things that happen in your life don't have to make you sit down. You can get up and you can do something. You are the actual pivot. I was like, what? And then a lady went, I am the pivot. And then someone says, amen. And I was like, oh my God, she's got her own cult. You are the pivot? What the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
And why do I want to do it now? I just started like doing like step ball changes in my house. I'm like, I'm pivoting.
Pivoting. Knocking into walls. I'm not going to let any wall get in the way of my pivot. So Speaking of pivoting, we now go to Kyle and Sutton. They're at a rooftop bar, and Sutton's like, the last time I was here at this bar, I got a little Botox because I was here for an Oscar party. Yeah, I guess that's my way of not really talking about Botox, but mentioning that I got invited to an Oscar party. What about you, Kyle? What party did you get invited to recently? Was there a Glad bag opening that you got to go to? And she's like, yes, but how long ago was that? A month ago. Yeah, it was a recent Oscar party. That's what you call clout, Kyle. Anyway, you want to talk about all the things going on in your life? I just want to get that in there.
No, Sutton's like, yeah, it was about a month ago that got my Botox. Can you tell, Kyle? And Kyle's like, how
it's been a really tough year for me.
It's been a really tough year for me. It's been a really tough year for me. And for some reason, it's showing on your face, which is really weird. She's so rude. So then, by the way, there was a comment last week
at the Oscars. What?
Was this a DM or, oh God, now what's going on? They're on the roof now? I don't know what's happening in the house. I'm scared. Something terrifying's happening up there. The hills do have eyes. Kyle's on my roof.
Why did you, Bose? It's Bose. Why did you stop speaking about the Badass Workshop?
I didn't give you permission to stop speaking. I built myself a podium right on your roof. Someone sent me a DM last week saying, Ronnie, like, get over your Kyle thing. It's a really long time to hold a grudge about Lisa Vanderpump. I don't hold a grudge about Lisa Vanderpump. I think Lisa Vanderpump really, really failed on her last season by running away and not sticking up to these people. I feel like she let me down as a fan. I said that at the time. This has nothing to do with that. That's old news. Kyle is currently annoying. I'm not going off things that were annoying last season. I'm starting fresh. This is fresh annoyance. Okay? This is not some stale shit I'm giving you from last year. This is freshly baked. Okay? You're welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Go
fresh
on,
baked annoyance. So
I'm willing to give new chances. You just keep failing them. Okay?
Kyle's having a real big villain season. I feel like Kyle is always the villain, but but the show does not treat her like the villain. I feel like the show treats her like the hero still. But I think this is the first season where the show is acknowledging that Kyle is the villain, and it's really exciting. And so I think we all have a right to dislike Kyle on her own terms, not because of any grudge from Lisa Vanderpump. And I think that's what you're responding to and what I'm responding to. So the producer basically asked Sutton why she trusts Kyle again. And Sutton's like, who said I trusted her? I just wanted to brag that I went to an Oscar party. That's it. Now I got to listen to her talk about bullshit.
And then we see the whole onslaught of things that Kyle did to Sutton last year, where she was trying to gaslight her and make her an alcoholic and being like, oh my God, you must be on your foot medication. I mean, I don't know. You're just not acting like yourself, which is what Kyle is currently doing to Dorit, where Dorit doesn't agree with Kyle on something. So Kyle's like, oh my God, something's going on with you where you're just not even yourself. Like, I don't even know who you are. Like, it's going to probably turn into, are you drinking? Because that's what Kyle does. She starts insinuating shit about you. And so then, we come back and then Sutton's like, well, so Kyle goes, do you like my bag? Because she got a new bag in Saint-Tropez. And then Kyle's like, isn't it subtle? And then we see a picture of Kyle in Saint-Tropez with a giant bag that says Saint-Tropez. Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah.
Super subtle.
Sutton literally says, I love that bag so much. And she goes, isn't it great? It's from Saint-Tropez. I got it in Saint-Tropez. Yeah, Kyle, we can see. It says Saint-Tropez on it. Fucking idiot. So she's just so shameless, okay? So Sutton is like, oh, was that your last family vacation before your family was broken? I went to an Oscar party. And Kyle's like, yeah, well, we did all just do Stagecoach together. Yeah, and we all stayed at our house there that we have, because we have a house there in La Quinta. So we went there together as a family because everything's great. And Sutton's like, really? I mean, we were in different rooms. I was in the room that was reserved for people who've been in Halloween, and it was great. It was a great time at Stagecoach when I was in my Halloween room. Sounds like, oh, okay, well, it's
just weird because the alarm clock in there is a brick being thrown at your face. So that, it's kind of uncomfortable, but, I did have it installed. So how's it going with you? And she's like, we're all getting along. And Sutton goes, for now. She's like, no, we're going to get along. I mean, we get along. We're going to get along.
Sutton's like, I just think when it comes to money, people can be different. Kyle's like, listen, I trust that in a sense, because like everything we have is like 50-50. So like, yes, of course, the agency is also mine. And I'll tell you why. Because first of all, he always says it was written in a book that if it wasn't for my wife, I would not have done this. And so like he goes on interviews. I'm not even joking. He says like, if it wasn't for me. So it's like really my business too. Like, I think it's not just Sutton. We're all saying like, Kyle, he is not going to, this will not last. And I love when Sutton says, I don't see the book being used as evidence in divorce court. Those forensic people are going to come in there and burn that book.
Yeah. Well, we've seen so many nasty divorces, especially in Beverly Hills and on Beverly Hills. But I believe I read somewhere that Kyle is part owner of the agency. I believe that she's part owner. So I don't think that he could completely just fuck her over.
True, but he can try. That's the thing, is that like he may not be able to do it, but she, I think, is fooling herself if she thinks that he's not going to try to be like, okay, Kyle can get like 25%. And she'll be like, no, it's 50-50. I just want that percentage. He's going to go after that percentage.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But yeah, never trust in a divorce. Never have this trust. But who knows what they're even doing, these two? You know what I mean? They might just be like, oh, let's just be like best friends and still stay married. I mean, who knows what they're doing? I don't know. So she's trying too hard to make me care, and it just makes me care less. Like, I don't care. So Kyle's like, we started with nothing and we built it together, and there's nothing like there's nothing to half. And I mean, that's it. She goes, well, I just don't trust any of them. And she tells us the lesson is very clear coming out of my marriage. Men do not like parting with their money, honey. Well, don't you make like $350,000 a month? I mean, he's parting with it. Who does want to part with their money? I'm sure he doesn't. Who would?
Yeah. So
but yeah, that's half hers. Okay, you go get your money.
Kyle, I think I'm going to be very honest with you. I went to an Oscar party. Also, I think you need to file.
Let me tell you, I don't even remember who was playing at that Oscar party, but my favorite song was the sound of Lisa Rinna outside knocking on the door, begging to be let in. I told her I had a ticket for her, but I didn't. It was so funny. I mean, you just heard outside, "Cars hell." This is the best song. I recorded it on my phone if you want to listen to it.
Listen, I just called up Lisa. I said, look, I can't get you into the Oscar party, but I do hear they have a spot reserved for you at the TV Land Awards. So enjoy.
Hey, welcome to Happy's Place. Here's the happiest place on place. I just want to have a place for my family. We have to watch Happy's Place. Can we watch Happy's Place live on the air with Reba McEntire?
The way that you weave Happy's Place in between Heather Dubrow and now Lisa Rinna, it's perfect.
It just cracks me up. Happy's Place. It's
Reba McEntire as a barkeep.
So I just do this for my family.
What if we have a show with Holly Hunter and Reba McEntire? Hi, I'm Holly Hunter, and I'm starring in Happy's Place with Reba McEntire.
Well, look at you. You sure are Holly Hunter free. Holly Hunter free. That's funny, huh?
Now, listen, Happy. I know your name may be Happy, but if we're going to do things, we're going to do things my way. Okay, you're going to be quiet. I'm going to bring in some files. You're going to write down some testimony, and then we're going to take this all the way to the top.
Darn tootin', sister. I love a lady with a notebook. Have a seat. Have a shot. Want a beer? Here's my cousin. This is my bar, but I just do this for my family.
It's Holly Hunter reprising her role from The Firm. I don't actually remember
Succession,
what she did in that.
Literally everything lately. Holly
Succession. Yeah. She's always talking business. Although I think actually in The Firm she was a skittish secretary, but I could be wrong. Either way.
Okay, so you can never have too much Holly Hunter in a recap. So Sutton's like, well, protect your money. So Kyle's getting kind of annoyed with it. And Sutton's like, you need to file. And she goes, listen, if you go on to do something from the date of filing, that's yours. Okay? Amazon, mine. Amazon Live, mine. It should be yours, Kyle. Don't give half of that to Mauricio. And she's like, everybody tells me I draw a line in the sand, but like, I mean, people are like, who filed? Are you filing? Did he file? Are you going to file? Like, that's the stuff I really just don't understand. Like, we'll figure it out.
Oh, Kyle.
You do you.
You lovely, lovely idiot. So Sutton's like, yeah, Kyle needs to get a grip and go talk to an attorney. I mean, quickly, run, do not walk. And Kyle's like, this is a tortured conversation. I'm just having such a tough 2 years. Sutton's like, yes, it is a tortured conversation, mainly because you're involved. You know how hard it is for me to come up with topics to discuss with you because you're very dumb. Anyway, should we talk about surrealism? Nope, I know you don't know anything about that. Dolly, don't want to go back to that again. We're going to have to talk about sheep for 10 minutes. All right, well, anyway, I'm just trying to give you tough love, and I just want you to be smart. LOL, Kyle Richards being smart. Okay, anyway.
I mean, good luck with that. Good luck on that journey. Am I right? By the way, I'm so sorry. I want to go revisit that booth over there where I got Botox. Goodbye. Are we done here? Kyle's like, hey, I'm having a difficult year. So then we go to Hancock Park, Bose's house, and there's a plaque that says, "So be so good they can't ignore you. CEO of signs. I made these signs." That's right. Before this was a house without a sign, and now look at it. This is a badass bitch house.
Yeah, and Bose is there, and her assistant Nico is in the kitchen watching her, and she opens up the fridge to pull something out, like her fruit tray, I guess, and she's like, "Wow, this fridge is full. Lord help us all." I'm like, you have not been to my fridge. That fridge looked like Marie Kondo had been there compared to mine, where I've got things stuck in every single corner. So then she pulls out this fruit platter, and then she starts pouring gold dust on it. And she's like, well, you can't have a fruit platter without gold. Now, wait, hold on. Do you think my new friends who I met at the party, do you think that they like gold as much as I like gold? You know, I was very sad that I left PepsiCo before I was able to introduce PepsiCo Gold. America would have been taken by the sensation of gold.
And Nico, my new favorite gay on Bravo, what a sweet energy this guy has.
Sweet energy. This poor man just had to spend an entire night at a surrealism party hiding under Bose's train. So
who doesn't want that? Like, who doesn't want that?
My hat is off to him.
Yes. I mean, that's like the best assistant work of all time. Like someone literally under your dress the whole night. I'm so into it. And he's like, I think they like gold. So how do you feel about them? Do you like them? Is Kyle Richards really suck? Hey, did Kyle Richards talk about how difficult her past 2 years have been? That's a tiny violin. I'm the inventor of violin, CEO of Badass Violins.
Silence, badass bitch talking. Yeah, I thought they were both very nice. Well, first impressions can be deceiving, and I am not one to be deceived. So Erica and Dorit show up. And
I was laughing at literally everything that she said. She's hilarious. I'm not one to be deceived, huh? Like, are you in your own cartoon now? I love this. So Erica and Dorit come, really and Erica's like,
oh, I'm so excited to see Bose's house. For once, I have a neighbor. And neighbor's hopefully got some silverware that's not locked up in the cabinet. Am I right, Dorit?
Cut to Erica trying to scrape off the gold dust from her like grapes, gathering it and putting it into like a little vial.
Yeah, sure, I can sell this.
Anybody have any poop tweezers? I can get this out later.
I think this one could get me a new tire.
So Erica's, she's excited. And Dorit's like, well, Erica, we hit it off. She's corporate America incarnate. Her and I just ended up sharing such personal, intimate details inside of 30 minutes. You know, when she said, hi, how are you? And I said, my husband is an alcoholic. We just really went deep so quickly.
Severe alcoholic. He's so alcoholic and severe, seriously. So they pull up to the house, and Bose is like, look at you. So cute, you two. Look at you. You look beautiful. Now take off your shoes, please. We don't allow poor people's shoes in here. Now, please. I'm barefoot. We might as well. Just do it. Take off your shoes. I'm the CEO of feet. I've started feet. Get in here with your gorgeous feet. I'm trademarking those feet. Get those feet trademarked, Nico. You don't have trademarks on your feet, do you? Okay, have some gold dust grapes.
If I knew that I had to take off my Chanel mules, I may not have worn them because they really are part of the outfit, sort of like tequila is for PK's personality. Severe alcoholic. Anyway, but for Bose, I'll make an exception.
Well, let me tell you, if you ever invite PK over here, he's always got his shoes off. Now, what he won't take off is his rampant alcoholism. So, good luck with that one.
Unfortunately, PK's shoes are just 2 cans of Pringles he's wrapped around his ankles. Very disturbing, so it's hard to usually just physically hard to take them off.
The only reason he went there is because he found out they had chips.
He just clopped right in. They asked him if he was going to go clogging afterwards, and he said, no, these are my actual shoes.
So this house, first of all, is a dream of mine. It is so crazy looking. It's not typical at all. It's like she's done every inch of it. It is very maximalism, which is my jam. She has done like every inch of it with something. It's all personality and colors and patterns, but it's not tacky. Like it all works together really, really well. I loved it.
Yeah, this is like what Reza tries to do when he had that like design show. This is what he was like trying to go for. I feel like this is like a Martin Lawrence Ballard situation or something. I don't know. It's just like it is.
I was just thinking of Martin Lawrence the other day as I passed a bell pepper in a grocery. I said, wow, a bell pepper wrapped in a plastic packaging. Isn't that something? The future is now, am I right? How do I check this little bad boy out? Are there people working here or is it just a machine? Ooh, are you free for dinner, you little self-checkout minx?
I'll tell you who's fresh and easy. There's red pepper.
So I will never forget that man from that one season of that show. I still walk around. Were you with me at the Abbey when we met him? He was at the Abbey one night. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. And he's like, oh, do you? Do you really? And I said, yes, I think you're fabulous. And he's like, oh, darling, thank you so much. Have a seat.
Yeah. And I,
by the way, we were on a dance floor.
Forget.
There was nowhere to sit.
And I will never forget seeing him with a grocery basket sort of dangling from his elbow as he browsed through plastic wrapped red peppers at Fresh and Easy. And I just like that high-low of like Martin Lawrence Ballard shopping for produce at like a budget supermarket. It's just the best thing in the world.
Hell yes. I will never forget that story.
It's just the best. So they go outside, and Bose is like, I'm so happy you came over. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation. Cheers. Now you speak. And Erica's like,
Wow, so what did you think about everybody? I mean, hey, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to it, okay? Tell us what you're really thinking.
no brass tacks, gold tacks only.
Oh, that's an expression.
Gold tax.
Let me tell you the tax that's most important to pay. The tax to yourself. You are your own country. You are your own president. You are your own Uncle Sam. You're your Auntie Sam. Why should it be an uncle? Take that tax and build up, ladies.
All right, so who do you think was a bitch? Just say it. Just say it.
Hey, Bose, why are you rotating away from us?
It's called a pivot, and I am the pivot.
Oh, okay.
That's a box step. I've been in Chicago, so.
Please, have a seat on my oversized Pepsi cans.
Oh, okay. This is nice.
Before I came, they were serving these in bottles, glass bottles. Do you know how many dolphins died in those things? You're welcome, dolphins.
Well, Bose, do you mind if I call you that? The stuff going on between Kyle and I is so layered. Basically, Kyle sort of isolated me. She's a bitch, is what I'm trying to say. Be on my team.
Kyle, Dorit just really goes off. And Bose looks like, oh, okay, well, thanks for coming over. Glad I'm getting to talk about myself. And Dorit's like,
but how would you feel if you were me, poor innocent me, and Coyle came along and just ruined your whole life by just being a bitch for no reason? Would you like to see some Watch What Happens Lives clips? Roll the clips! Roll the clips!
You know what it is with Kyle? It's always like Coca-Cola this, Coca-Cola that. I hate Pepsi. God, isn't she just the worst person ever, Bose?
Have you ever heard someone just call you incessantly saying things like, do the do? Really horrible person.
Sometimes if you can't trust someone's soft drink taste, can you really trust them at all? Am I right, Bose? Be on my team.
So now we see, this is hilarious because Dorit's like, yeah, Kyle keeps on changing her mind on what she's mad at. And they go, grievance number 1. And Kyle's like, first of all, being asked about my marriage on camera when we were such good friends. And then it's like, grievance number 2. When you said that, like, I think Kathy just wants some support. To me, it just feels like you like want to be on the side of whichever the audience like thinks and agrees with.
and now she's bringing up Provoking when I joked, who is my favorite sister? And then we see that thing, Grievance 3. And then she's like, it just feels like she's grasping at straws, just like PK when he sees a bottle of Belvedere sitting on a countertop. Severe!
I just wish he could have learned about PepsiCo so much earlier.
So Bose is like,
at least his diabetes would have been more delicious.
She's like, well, what happens? What happens now? Are you going to pivot? Are you going to be the pivot? Will you be a badass pivot? Because at the party, when I saw her, she just stomped on off. And Dorit's like,
well, yes, I think that she came into this conversation thinking I can always do what I do with Dorit, which is make her feel bad for me, and then she'll get over it. And I said, gee, I'm not going to do that anymore.
So then we see a clip of Kyle being like, I think that right now I'm really dealing with like a lack of trust and like the fact that she lacks accountability or self-awareness. Like, I mean, she's just oblivious to anyone's feelings but her own. And she tells us, you don't get to just say how hurt you were and then that you felt pushed away. You made that bed and now you got to lie in it. Sutton's like, oh, okay. So then we cut back to Dorit, Erica, and Bose. And Dorit's like, over the past few years... What
bed did Dorit make? What bed did Dorit make? I'd like to know. What's the bed? I just would like Kyle to tell us about the bed before Dorit lies in it, because I don't see the bed. I don't see the bed here.
I don't see the bed. She keeps trying to make my case for the bed, but there's no bed. There's no bed. You're just full of shit.
There's no bed. There's no bed.
Yeah. Just to say I don't like you anymore. You're stupid now. You're ugly now. You're gross. Stop sitting at my table. Yeah. Go to the other table. Yeah. Go don't eat at the other table.
Yeah, exactly. So Dorit's like,
well, I feel like over the last few years, there's always been this set of two rules, a set of rules for you and rules for everyone else, or a set of rules for you and a set of rules for me. Or like there'll be a set of rules for Kyle and then a set of rules for someone else. Like, yes, Dorit, we get it. We understand what two rules are. Wait, can I just give one more example? A set of rules for Kyle and then a set of rules for other individuals.
Yes, that's the same thing. Thank you.
And so Erica, who's like peaceful Erica this time, who's never done anything to anybody, is like,
Well, I see where they're both coming from. You got that one's too skinny, and that one's too skinny. He's got way too much money, and they've been going through real bad stuff at home.
and Bose is like, yes, you've got it. You're talking to me. And next, let me tell you this. Are you your own hero in your own story? Be a badass. Did I say that in enough individual syllables for everyone here to understand that? Eat the gold, poop the gold. You're a badass. But Coyle, let me tell you, what a bitch.
Kyle and Dorit, they're both going through separations and they're at each other's throats while PK and Mo are having the best time of their lives while we're here fighting in Encino. Okay? How does this even happen?
I'm like, well, they're not on a reality show. So Erica she's like,
so by the way, Dorit, how's everything going with your husband? Oh, you mean the severe alcoholic? Well, it's been a very few tumultuous years. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And you're on mute, darling. You're on mute.
His alcoholism is so serious that it chokes me up even. And so Bose is like, well, how are you with your kids right now? And let me ask you this. Your kids.
Yes.
Are they badass kids? Well, I suppose so. Good. I'll listen to their problems. Go ahead and tell me. And she's like, well, they think Daddy's working because he's staying in a hotel because of work. And Bose is like, oh, it's so difficult because you have to keep up the pretense. Which hotel? Is it Marriott? I can get you connected because guess who came up with the extra T at the end of that logo? Her name is Bose.
Guess who invented hotel rooms? Me. I invented that. Before that, there were just big open spaces that everyone would lie down in, and I said, put up the walls.
So Dorit's like, you know what? Because of the last few years, PK, he was drinking just so much. And then when we'd fight, he would take off and he'd be gone for weeks. So I've been telling the kids, that's just what we're used to be honest. So their lives are not really disrupted that much. They wake up and they say, where's the big old blob of jelly that's normally here yelling at you in the morning? And I say, he's on another piece of toast. Right. He's on London toast today. Let's concentrate on something else. Now, here's your nanny. Learn your tie. I'll be in bed.
I'm sorry that Dorit had to suffer like that in silence. Not that Dorit's ever really been that silent. She just talks a lot. But anyway, I understand not telling anyone anything like that. What are you going to say? I told you guys everything was great when in fact he's not here. Right, everyone? Am I right? Can we get some of that gold dust just in a little baggie? Just a little bit.
And
so
Dorit's still
like,
going on and on. She's like, well, and then Jaguar asked me, but where is Daddy, Mummy? And I said, oh, Jaguar, be your namesake and get some drive already. Stop asking. And Bose is like, okay, well, is there a chance for reconciliation or something? She's like, well, I suppose there's always that possibility, isn't there? Let me tell you, it will have to be a little bit less severe. Alcoholism, terrible stuff.
Now we go to Sutton's house. And Avi is in there, and he's futzing around, but he's like microwaving sauces or whatever. And Sutton's like, Avi, what are you doing right now? And he's like, well, I'm defrosting the sauce because they were frozen for your pizza party. And so basically they're setting up a little pizza thing to go, because what we find out is that Sutton, Kathy, and Erica are going to go surprise Kyle with some pizza stuff. So Sutton is saying, although Kyle and I have had our ups and downs over the years, I know that she needs me as a friend right now. And she knows that I need to be with her so I can feel superior to all the shit that she's going through. It's just such a great feeling for me. Anyway, so I'm going to go surprise her.
I'm going to go over to Kyle's house because she's probably alone in that big house. And I'm going to bring her something she hates, which is carbs. And then we're going to cook that in her kitchen and then leave her with the mess. It's going to be so fun. Like, this is such a Sutton frenemy move to do. Like, let's just bring three people over to trash your house and then leave you. Bye.
Yeah. So Erica comes on over, says hi to the dogs and everything. And then she's like, what is that? She's like, oh, these are pizza kits.
And what's pizza?
It's something that people eat.
I'm not familiar.
Okay, well, I thought it was a nice gesture. And after I talked to Kyle, she seemed a little down, which was hilarious. And there's a story she told me. Do you want to hear this story? This is the feel good story of the year. Okay, all right. So there's this picture in Mauricio's office. And it's a picture of him and Kyle. And guess what? He replaced the picture of the two of them with the picture of the girl from Dancing with the Stars. I mean, could you just die? It's hilarious.
And Erica's like,
What?
she's like, in the office. In their house. She goes, are you serious? Yes. Well, Kyle did the replacing first. So Mauricio can have a picture of some lady in his office, I think. And Sutton's like, I mean, at that point for me, I'm like, bye, Mauricio. But I don't think Kyle did. And, she's still kind of hurt and still hopeful, hurt and hopeful. The Kyle Richards story. Little tiny letters under it. It's just saying, I've been through a lot in the past 2 years. It's a good one.
Starring Michael Myers. If Kyle's still thinking that her divorce is going to be like a genteel affair while Mauricio is doing passive aggressive things like swapping out the photo of him and Kyle, a special photo that's always been up there with a picture of him in whatever his professional is on Dancing with the Stars, that is some passive aggressive shit. And Kyle is deluding herself if she thinks that this is going to be a civilized situation. That is the first flag. That's their first red flag. That's going to go down.
I think it's going to be civilized, and I'm, obviously I'm always wrong on couple stuff like this, like almost 100% of the time. Because when I meet people as a couple, I just figure they're going to be together forever. Like if you ever broke up, I mean, I didn't meet you with Dom. I knew you before Dom, but you've been together so long that if you break up, I don't know that I can talk to you. Like I'll feel so hurt that you broke up. Like it hurts me when people break up. I just don't understand it.
Aww.
I think that people are always going to be together forever. And I'm always shocked when people actually get divorced. Like even on like Potomac, I didn't think Ashley would ever do it. I was like, deep down, she really loves him and he loves her. And on this one, I don't think they're going to do it. I really think that they still love each other and they're just doing some weird, I don't know, storyline thing that went out of control, or I don't know. I don't think it's that big. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like Kyle, because Kyle really, she does that thing where she insinuates the shit out of things to make other people look bad, but she's not really telling the truth. Like we've seen what I guess I shouldn't call her a liar because she hasn't really said anything. She's insinuated that Mauricio has done things, but we don't even know if Mauricio has cheated or not. I mean, the rumor from Old Queen in the Bar was that he got some DMs on the Instagram that she didn't like. And I think she ended up coming out with that later in the season, but I don't know what Mauricio did. Anyway, my point is I do think they still love each other. And I don't know that they'll necessarily get back together. I think they will. Part of me does, but I don't think it's going to get nasty.
I don't know.
Isn't that weird? I'm fighting in a positive way, but it's weird to feel. It's weird. I feel weird feeling that way, but that's my gut.
I would not be surprised if they reconcile in a few years. That could definitely happen. But if they don't reconcile, if they do go down the divorce path, I can see it getting dark. Just because I've just seen too many couples who are always like, we're going to be really mature about this. We're going to be adults about this. And it goes downhill really quickly. But good. It's good that it's relatively mature and civilized right now, even though he's doing passive aggressive things with his picture frames. So Erica's like,
I mean, why are you replacing the picture of your wife with your Dancing with the Stars partner? All that's going to do is make people talk more, and that doesn't help. It actually hurts. Then again, Tom had a picture of who he was fucking underneath his desk, and there she was. So who am I to judge, And she just sips out of her soda. Like, I've been through it all, toots. I love when she just leans into like, I love when she's in like diner waitress mode.
Well, yeah, she really is like, hey, been there, done that.
You want a refill, hon?
She totally is. Please let Erica, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but please let her just end up being a diner waitress one day. I would fucking love that, to just go in and there's like bleach blonde Erica with her, $5 extensions kind of falling off into your porridge. Just being like,
hey, what do you want today? As if we didn't already all know. Oh, look who's back.
So now we are at Kyle's house, and Kyle calls Sophia on the phone and is basically asking, like, are you going to have dinner at home tonight? And Sophia is like, no, Mom, gross. I'm going to go see a movie. And Kyle's like, I'm still adjusting to having a lot of a quieter home. I'm still not used to that. I just get like a little scared. Like, what if it's always like this? Well, don't worry, Kyle. You have 10 enormous sized dogs that are barking at all times are running around that place for it to ever be truly quiet.
So Erica and Kathy and Sutton are coming over, and it's wacky. How are they going to get through the gate? What are we going to do? And Kathy's like, I'm just saying I'm going to be from Amazon. You know, she gets so much stuff from Amazon. I'll just say, you know. Oh no, she didn't even say that. She said, I'm just saying, like, I'll just say I got a delivery here for who delivers things. I don't
She goes like, she like does like gibberish on purpose. And then they're like just joking about how like she has to get into character and everything. And she's like, no, I mean, look, I mean, like, okay, think about my outfit. Okay, maybe being in a brown truck, you know, that's UPS. I was like, wow, I'm oddly impressed that Kathy knew that the brown truck was UPS. I didn't even think she even saw the brown trucks. I think it's like when you have like, you know, you go onto Safari and it can like block out ads so that way you have like a cleaner interface. I think she just blocks out like workers and trucks.
So Erica's like, all right, then get into character. What's your name going to be? She's like, ma'am. Which you know is her real name at home. And Erica's like, all right, we're done. She's not opening up. So she's like, I have a delivery from Amazon.
So then they pull up to Kyle's gate and Kyle's in the kitchen. Portia's home. I guess it was a quick movie. So I thought,
no,
like,
that was
last time I checked
Fifi.
Portia, you were. Oh, yeah, Fifi.
That was Fifi.
You're right.
Sophia.
That makes much more expense. Sophia, who is. No, Alexia is engaged. Sophia is just at the movies. So Portia, they're having a great conversation. Portia's like, sometimes I think cucumbers get slimy. Why is that? I'm like, please don't ask Kyle this. You're testing the limits of your mother's abilities right now.
Kyle has been trying to make salmon for 4 years and has not done it right once. Please don't ask your mother. And Kyle's like, it means they've been in there too long, I think. And she goes, but why slimy? She goes, I don't know. I'm going to need to think about that one.
Portia trying to understand like the quintessential, trying to understand the intrinsic elements of a cucumber. But why? If it's been in there so long, why does the path it choose? Why is the path slimy? Why not hard? Why slimy, Mom? It's like, I don't
It's
know,
actually a
Portia.
decent question, you know, because cucumbers are like so water-based and like, where does the slime come from? I don't really get it, but
Well,
I don't need to go down that path. We're on hour 10 of this recap. So then this is the wacky delivery scene. So the girls come up and they're trying to get in the gate. And then Kyle, of course, the doorbell goes off and bedlam breaks loose in Kyle's house. There are dogs running around the house. There's chickens falling from the ceiling. There's angry birds being like shot from one end of the house to another. Faye Resnick comes up from the basement like, did I hear something? I'm working on a closet down there.
There's someone swinging through on a rope. I mean, it is like, what is this? What happens every single time a package comes in? She has to wrangle every single one of her dogs because her dogs always go running out that gate. For years now, they've gone running out the gate. This cannot be normal. I feel like I go to people's houses and their dogs do not run out gates. I mean, I don't know a lot of people who live in gated households, but I feel like I've gone to enough where that doesn't happen. Or what about like an electric collar? Is that inhumane? Do people not use those? I mean, I don't understand why this is such a complicated thing to receive a package from Amazon.
Yeah, it really is. So everybody's running around screaming and honking and beeping. Buildings are crumbling or the earth is opening. And finally, of course, one of the dogs runs for the hills because, who wouldn't really? The dog's like, please save me. Please, please. And then it just turns out to be Kyle's friends. It's like, no, don't take me back. Please.
Like, I thought I had a way out. Actually, what's funny is that Kyle is spending so much time bringing the dogs in and all this stuff. It goes on. It's all edited together, but it's clearly long enough that Kyle is like, oh my God, I forgot about the Amazon guy. I'm like, how did you forget about the Amazon guy? That's why you're doing all this bullshit. And then she's like, he's probably gone by now. He's probably gone. Is he still there? Is he still there? So by the way, everyone, and next time you have an Amazon delivery and it says like supposed to arrive between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and it shows up at like 6:30, it's because of Kyle Richards, because these Amazon drivers are sitting there waiting for idiots like Kyle to wrangle a farmstead of animals. And like, rather than just have a simple, like just opening the gate, she could have just walked to the gate, take the package and close the gate again.
No, can't have it that easy. So then it's Wacky. The gate opens, and guess who it is? It's Wacky, Kathy, Erica, and Sutton. So they come in, and she's like, "Oh my God, you guys, that's so sweet. You're doing a pizza night for me." I'm like, gluten, yay! Thank you so much. I'm going through such a difficult night right now.
So, by the way, I'm just scrolling through the notes, and like, just as an example of how much craziness and how much time it took for Kyle to get this situation in order. It was like a page of notes of Kyle going through the house trying to clean things up before the scene goes on. It's wild.
It's 2 full pages.
It's wild.
So Portia goes upstairs, and then they talk about PJs and like how amazing this is. And they joke about making the pizza, and we see them making the pizza and all that good stuff. And Garcelle's not here because she's in Atlanta shooting 2 movies. And then we see a flashback of Sutton FaceTiming Garcelle. And Garcelle's like, "Oh, Black Girl's missing the second installment. It's been so good. I mean, it's completely different. This one, for the title, we're calling it Black Girl Missing, Super Missing, like really missing. Like, where the fuck is she?" It's a little long for a poster, but we're working on it.
Sutton's like, "You already lost one black girl. What kind of mother are you?" She's like, "Girl, I swear to God, you are going to be missing soon."
So they're talking about being excited to see her later. And then Kathy's like, "Well, I saw a picture of Mauricio. What fugly? What the hell happened to him? He aged." And I was like, "I don't like that. I don't like you talking about him like that." And she's like, "I think she's referring to his Instagram stories where he's in the gym. And I just don't like that. I don't like that. It doesn't make me feel good, Kathy." And Kathy's like, "Oh, I thought it would. Makes me feel good." And Kathy's like, "He's fucked now."
Well, also, like, I think Kathy thought she was giving Kyle a big compliment because she's like, "Kyle, you could be his daughter now." And like, because that's always been Kyle's goal, is to basically be like, appear with her daughters. But now she's like, "Wait a second. Now that I hear that articulated, it's really creepy. Stop it, Kathy." She's like, well, we saw him working out on Instagram, you know? And basically Kyle's saying how she just really does not like how Mauricio is putting up thirst traps on Instagram at the gym. It makes her really upset.
But Kyle does the same thing. You know, she was doing the same thing at the same time. They were doing the typical divorce thing where they're like, "Oh my God, look at my divorce body." And Kathy's like, "Yeah, but look at your face," you know? So, I mean, listen, I think that she's being a good sister. I know Kyle doesn't like it, but this is what good sisters do. You know, this is what I do for my sister. I'm like, "Your ex can die in a fire. Do you want me to set it? I'll do it. Do you want?" She's like, "No, Ronnie, don't." I'm like, "Do you want to ruin his life? Do you want to come with fake names and go give him Yelp reviews?" She's like, "No, Ronnie." That's what you do. You write it down for your sister.
That's right. So Kathy says, "Over the years, we've had our ups and downs with Mo. I'd heard from a lot of people that he was talking a lot about Hilton and Highland and Rick on his show. We don't discuss him. I would say the only advice I could give would be just to move on." I was like, "Ooh, that is so cold." It was like both I don't watch his show, like, and she sort of says in this way, like his little show, which has now been canceled, by the way. And then she's like, yeah, he's not on our radar at all, which, by the way, we know that they talk about him, but I just love the way she just dismisses Mauricio. It's so cold.
Yeah. And, because this is Kathy's big, like, told you so moment, too, because she's hated his ass for years. So it's got to suck for Kyle because she's going through this with Mo, but she also has to, like, deal with her sister, like, gloating, you know? So Sutton's like, "Well, I think going forward, you might need a poker face, at least for me. I had a husband that was really, really powerful, and I was like a deer in the headlights. I was like you last night when Dorit was yelling at you and calling you a bad person. That was fun. That was fun." But yeah, Kyle. And then it turns into everybody else unloading their own divorce trauma on top of Kyle, which that's not really helpful. Where it's like, "Oh yeah,
but it's funny."
Like, "Oh yeah, I totally got fucked over by mine. Get ready, Kyle. Gird your loins. You're about to get dragged from one end of a parking lot to another, Kyle."
She's like, "We only have the utmost respect for each other, even through this process. He sent me flowers on Mother's Day," which is so funny because when they were married, Kyle was like, "Yeah, we're kind of the best couple on Bravo right now." And now she's doing the whole, "Yeah, we're kind of the best divorcees on Bravo right now." She's always going to try to be like that. So Sutton's like, "Yeah,
it's the most romantic divorce ever, and everybody's jealous of it, you know?"
Yeah, well, I used to get flowers for a long time, Kyle. I haven't gotten flowers in a year now. But you know what they say? I can buy my own flowers. Go to my own Oscar parties. Is that the lyric? Because that was my experience. Anyway, go on.
And Erica's like, you don't like flowers, girl. You got a monthly payment. Relax. And she's like, that ain't nothing, okay? And she goes, oh, it means something. She's like, it means something. At least as somebody gets nothing, at least you walked out with something. Please. I got a few gay guys thrown in jail. Big deal. I mean, it was fun while it lasted, but still, I deserved more.
You know, so many people are just used to seeing and hearing about nasty divorces, fighting over custody and money. It's just the norm. I don't think our marriage was maybe the norm. I don't think our family and what we have and what we built was necessarily the norm. Maybe that's pompous of me. I don't know. Maybe we're a little different. I don't know. Some might say better. Who knows? We're kind of like Nuprin. Little, yellow, different, better. Except we're maybe not yellow. But anyway, we're just better. What were we talking about again? You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Oh, God damn it. I'm so sorry. I'm sitting here with my finger on the mute button and I just keep forgetting to press it.
I'm like, don't leave me hacking with a Nuprin joke.
I jumped in right on time. I promise you. So everybody leaves and Sutton's on her way out. She's like, okay, that picture in the office, does that feel weird? And she's like, it does feel weird that my picture was taken down. She goes, yeah, well, there's that. Okay, on that note, good night, sweet dreams. You're losing everything. Have fun burning. Okay, have fun while Rome burns down and Ramsey Caesar. Okay, et tu, Brutus? I know all the lines. Have fun, Kyle.
So then we see Kyle closing the office door while inspiring Trixie Monocle music plays. I would never do that to you. I would never make you cry like that. Baby, I can see right through you. I wouldn't do that.
You're probably beautiful. On tour posters. Like, who are we kidding? Be quiet. So then PK pulls up to a restaurant and now it's a big Dorit
a Bravo
and
restaurant.
PK scene. It's a what?
It's a Bravo restaurant, Olivetta, owned and operated by Marissa Hermer of Ladies of London.
Maybe, why don't they have her on here? She just went through a juicy divorce in Beverly Hills.
She actually, I'm actually, that's a great point. I'm actually a little surprised that they have not tried to recruit Marissa since she does already have a track record, but she never was like the most interesting person on Ladies of London. She was like, hi, I'm Marissa. We have a restaurant.
No, but she gets terribly offended by things. And sometimes that's all you need, somebody to be like, I'm so offended.
They should just quietly resurrect all the Ladies of London on different Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Next up, like Caprice shows up on Potomac for some reason.
Not working out so well, unfortunately. So Dorit and PK's big scene, and they've just announced their separation, but they have not seen each other since because PK went straight to a hotel. So here we go. So PK is like, I'll have some non-alcoholic beer then. And I'll also have some bread and some shoestring fries. Well, yeah, just do that. Bread, shoestring fries, and a sandwich in a glass, please. That'd be fantastic. And he's all skinny, by the way, which makes it even funnier. Yeah. PK ordering like PK.
Not as skinny as that lithe waiter who kept on doing different poses next to their table. First he's like coquettish, and then he like goes behind their banquette and is like he's like talking to them from over his back, and he like swoops over with his arm. That waiter was mugging for the camera so hard it was hilarious.
So then
I thought you were doing like a grand jeté.
Yeah. So Dorit comes in and she's like, well, PK. Oh, no, she's just telling us there's so much to discuss. I thought it was best for us to have dinner, have a nice meal, relax, start figuring out together how to navigate the new situation of severe alcoholism.
How are you, PK? He's like, I'm all right. How about you? It's like, yeah, I'm okay. It's like, well, I'm gonna go for I'm gonna get some Wagyu beef in case anyone cares. Okay. Anyway, let's go on past the ordering. Hey, do you like this outfit I'm wearing? Look, I'm gonna stand up right now. Single PK. Oh, single PK. And Dorit clearly does not like this phrase.
Yeah,
actually, and also, you know who else doesn't like this
How
phrase?
hurtful that is to call himself single PK right in front of me. What a severe alcoholic. By the way, can I have a Belvedere? You don't mind if I drink, do you, PK? I'll have a Belvedere soda with 3 lemons, squeeze, and then wait for it. Wait for it. Why are you posing like that? Why are you bent over backwards? Stand up straight. I'm trying to give you his ankle's behind his head. Get it down, waiter man, and write this. 3 lemons squeezed in, and then cock us out. Thank you. Clear.
And bring 1 extra straw just to taunt him a little bit.
Let's just bring 1 extra straw and make a placemat for it so we can call it Go Wait. Go Wait.
I don't know if PK realizes that saying single PK is as hurtful as it is, or as alarming as it is for anyone who's also single. Last thing they need to hear is that PK is single and on the market.
So
hide your children, hide your remote controls, hide your lays.
So he's like, look at here, I'm sitting here eating. And she's like, I know. It's what our marriage has often been about. He's like, well, I'm kind of skinny for me at the moment.
Not if you keep eating like that, PK.
So he's like, I'm edgy right now, right? I didn't know how bad I had this disease, drinking. I mean, drinking is a symptom, right? It's not the cause. You're the cause, actually. The drinking is medication. The disease is Dorit. Right. But, I'm very clear now. We've made our decision. We've done what we've done. I'm really clear on it. You're my best friend. You're my wife. We don't speak to each other nicely. I get it. If the server comes with my Wagyu beef, tell him he's made a mistake, demand a chocolate cake and a free tab. All right. Do you understand? Will you do that or not? Are you my wife or are you not my wife? Are you a disease or not? You're both. Get me a chocolate cake. To test.
I mean, you're my best friend and you're my wife, and yet we don't speak to each other nicely. If the server came over and we spoke to the server how we speak to each other, we'd be thrown out of this restaurant for being so boring. Okay, late. It's like I feel like we don't even like each other. I don't question the love, but we stopped liking each other. I'm like, maybe she stopped liking you because you're monologuing about their relationship and you're just trying to have a pleasant evening.
And Dorit's like,
wait, do you feel like you don't like me?
He's like, well, when you talk to me a certain way, you make me feel a certain way. No, I don't like you. And she goes,
that's not what I asked, PK.
Well, there are times where I don't like you, correct? I don't ever want to not like you. She's like, well, this is something where, again, I just don't understand. PK, I'm going to put the word, a T at the end of understand, so you really understand it. I don't understand. Am I on mute?
I'm sorry, because you're doing no, you're just doing this whole monologue, but behind you, there's been a grand reveal.
Oh, shit, really? Well, let's take a look, everybody.
Look, the painter took down the paper, and it was like you're doing a whole thing, and he's like, da 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 da.
Is he watching?
Oh, here comes number 2,
and look
here
at
it
this.
comes.
I'm going to put us on a wider screen so people can see. Okay, where's the wider screen, Ben? Could you put it on the wider shot?
It's in the lower right. Oh yeah, I'll do it. It went missing for a moment.
Yeah, it did.
I'll fix
Where is it?
It's actually completely gone. Where did it go?
Where did it go?
Where's our little special widescreen view?
What is so wide?
New hip. Wait, where is our special widescreen? I will set this up. I know how to fix it.
It's okay. I just wanted people to see that these curtains are actually working now. So good. Okay, the curtains work. I was like, these curtains are not going to work in here. But now that you can see the view, they work pretty well. Very nice. Yeah.
Look.
Okay.
Look, there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So
ladies and gentlemen,
pretty good.
You're the CEO of taking off plastic. Yes.
It's all coming down right now. And while we get a nice wider view of your room, we get a nice wider view of my childhood room. You're welcome, everyone.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Love
bonnet.
it.
The air conditioner bonnet.
Okay, so Dorit's like, I just don't understand, PK. I don't understand. And he's like, well, I think I've made the biggest change that you wanted. And your biggest ask was for me to stop drinking and stop eating mayonnaise out of the jar. And I've done one of those things. So I've at least done 50% of the things that you wanted.
Well, and you don't think that I've made any changes? I've got a different hair color, PK. Do you think this is easy? Brunettes don't have fun.
No, I don't think you made any changes to discussions and arguments. I think you went very low quickly. I think you knew my touch points, like pointing out the fact that I hired Berlin for a Pretty Woman party. Okay, I understand they're different, but sometimes you can only get what you can get. Sorry, Roxette was booked. You had no problem. You had no problem if you were annoyed and going deep like that.
Well, the progression in mine and PK's fighting, and this is where it really became too toxic, was that it went just from screaming at each other to not using profanity to then cursing at one another to actually having digs below the belt. Oh, I hope you rot in hell. Oh, I hope...
What are you doing?
Digs. Little digs. Little digs.
Digs. Almost bullying. It's almost bullying. And I hope you rot in hell. I hope you're alone for the rest of your life. You're going to drown your own fupa. You're going to drown in your own fupa if you stand on your head for too long. You know, things like that. You pasty motherfucker. I hope you die in the biscuit can you were born from. You know, stuff like that. Just fun little digs.
The sort of things that a severe alcoholic would say, which he is. So Dorit's like, PK, when you get into a mood or you're angry or you get your hand stuck in a combos bag, you can't really snap out of it. It's like, well, babe, I think we've got deep-rooted resentments that have been built up as a result of what life has thrown at us, including new flavors from combos. It happens. So then the waiter comes and does an arabesque and drops.
Getting your hand stuck. The back of combo.
It happens. Don't judge me. That's why I got clear, I was drunk. Couldn't figure out which was the exit.
Well, I used to be your number one. And what I want from all marriage is even above the kids, In a real marriage, spouses come first, right? I mean, now, look, you just walking around with those little things. I mean, they can barely talk, Sari. They can't even drive yet. Why are you talking to them? They're our children, PK. They're disgusting, all right? Little mooches. They don't have a job. I have my credits terrible because of those little farts, all right? What are you doing with them?
Is that true that in a marriage, when you have kids, the spouse comes before the kids? Is that true? I have thought the kids were. It is?
Well, that's what my parents told me. I mean, me and my mom used to get into it all the time. And my dad was like, I'm always going to choose your mother. I said, but you can see what's going on here, And he's like, well, but I'm always going to choose. He said, it doesn't matter. She's my wife. She comes before you. And in the Bible, you choose your spouse over your kids. Your kids are secondary. Because without the spouse, supposedly you can't raise a good child. At least that's in the... obviously we know that's not true, but I mean in religion.
I get backing up your spouse and being like a united front with your kid, against your kid and stuff. But I don't know if does it really also mean babe, I can't believe you're staying home to take care of our child when we could be going out to a bar.
I'm going to parties. Do you know how many openings you've missed? I had to sit down and watch Wicked alone.
Babe, Susan Boyle is playing the West End and we're skipping that so that we can watch Jagger, learn how to do math. I don't think we need to do that, babe. You're choosing our child over me, babe.
But it was Singapore math. I don't want him to be Singapore. You wanted to go see a poor singer. I wanted to deal with Singapore math. Come on. There's no contest, PK.
So he's like, well, you made me feel less bad. You made me feel less than so many times. I've told you this. She's like, well, I've never heard it, PK. Not like you just said, PK. I mean, you said this and that. I wish you were Kyle. Jaguar smells like pickles, even though you're the one with the pickle face. You've said emasculate. I've heard, I'm a man. Blah. I've heard I'm angry, but I've never heard this right here. This openness you just gave me. You're more open than the jar of mayonnaise that you were slurping out of when I arrived here. Don't think I didn't see it. I appreciate it.
PK, you are sort of like that jar of mayonnaise. It's almost like the slogan says, bring out the Hellmans, bring out the best. But I have to say, I never really heard... I've heard you say these things before, but I never really heard it this way. I think part of it is that when you're speaking to me tonight, I'm not getting a constant spray of better cheddars on my face, so I can really focus on the words. That helps.
So it's like, look, your family, you're the mother of my kids, yada, yada. It's going to be fine. Please don't get mad at me because you're not getting half of shit. I don't have anything, as you know. So are we done here? And she's like, well, we're already talking 5 times a day. He's like, well, we're not going to. We're not going to talk 5 times a day. And she's like, oh, I don't understand.
I don't. Give me a T. Waiter, bring me a T to put at the end of understand. So I really hit this one home. PK, I don't understand.
That codependency that we have, it's got to take a break. I'm replacing it with Maurizio. Sorry.
But we need to remain committed.
He's like, no, that's what divorce is. We are no longer committed.
No.
She's like, wait a minute.
I want to give you space to break the codependency because I've already broken it. I'm already codependent on new people now. She's like, oh.
Drown in your
Yeah, but I
fupa,
heard that part,
motherfucker.
PK.
I will not. Grace is over. Grace is over.
Please. Don't yell in Marissa Herman's restaurant. She's a sophisticated lady. It's
I'm
not
very
fair.
annoyed.
Not fair
And
to
also,
her.
I just wanted to stop by and say, I hope you're enjoying your dinner. Also, I love hot dogs. Okay, carry on.
That was pretty much her personality. So Dorit is like,
Well, I guess because we've been talking and things. I guess since we've been talking and things have been so friendly, I thought we could navigate this together. But then I remembered the last time PK tried to navigate, he got a DUI. So, oh well, severe alcoholic.
No more navigating here. Well, that brings us to the end of Beverly Hills. What a wackadoo, chaotic time I had recording it and watching it. Super fun. What a great time. Guys, we're so thankful for you, really. Thank you for everything you do for us. Thanks for letting us do this with our lives. I mean, we are a couple of blessed little turkeys. That's
thankful.
for damn sure.
we sure are. Sorry that for Crappens on Demand. Sorry again that my lips are out of sync with my voice, but you know, it's just what happens. And we are going to have a Salt Lake City recap fresh and ready for you for Thanksgiving.
Two-parter, baby. Another two-parter coming up.
It's a doozy, and it's a
and
late night
apologize to all the husbands stuck in the family car listening to this bullshit, but we love you too, suckers. Bye, everybody. Talk to you next time.
I apologize for nothing. Bye.
Bye.